Well, hello everyone. This is Wilson Cole. I'm president of Adams, Evans & Ross. And I want to talk to you guys today about when you run into a company that just isn't paying you and they're just being nasty, kind of what you can expect once you start trying to collect from them. And I'm not talking about the company. And this is one thing that, I have a lot of people say, Wilson, you've done this 30 years. I don't know how you haven't lost your faith in humanity. And I've said this many times, is that, working in this industry for 30 years has confirmed my faith in humanity. I can tell you, 98% of the folks that come through here for collections are good folks. They had every intention on paying our client. They misjudged cash flow. They had things bounce to the left when they should have bounced to the right. And the intention was to pay. You've got about 2% that are just of that less than stand-up element, but that's far and few between. But what I do want to talk to you about is you have different personalities. And if you're dealing with a company that the owner is nasty, or if you're getting pushback and attitude from the accounts payable people and they're hostile, or things on those lines, we refer to that kind of as debtor arrogance. And some of it comes with the territory, but one thing I can assure you is if the AP clerk is unhappy and miserable, if you talk to the owner, you're going to get a similar picture of the same thing. That basically the birds of a feather flock together, and with very few exceptions, you run into that. Another thing that you run into is if you hang up the phone with just a horrible individual that's threatening this and threatening that, and then you get a letter from their attorney. I can assure you, and this is almost 100% always the case, is if you're dealing with a debtor that's just not polite and not trying to resolve it, but just hostile and combative, before you open up that letter, understand that attorney is going to mimic his client. It's almost like, I raised 4 daughters and have 10 grandkids and all of that good stuff. Not to say that they were always perfect, and God knows your grandkids weren't either. But if you ever see somebody with just a horrible kid, if you ever go over and complain or whatever, they raised them, they're not going to do it. Same way with if you have a horrible AP person or CEO of a company, they just all kind of gravitate around that. Now, talking with the owners, talking with the AP clerks, just kind of keep your cool. Keep bringing it back to when is this going to get paid. There's no reason to be abusive or to mimic that. But one thing I would caution you, and I've said this before in some of our other videos, is if the attorney reaches out to you, I can assure you that attorney is not calling to say, oh my goodness, my client was so wrong, they want to get you paid, where do I send the check? They are calling you to build a defense on why they don't owe it, or attempt to intimidate you or scare you from proceeding. That is their job. And if the individual was hostile, the attorney is going to be hostile as well. And I always tell everyone, if an attorney calls you, don't talk to them. Whether you get your attorney involved, whether you get us involved, we've got staff attorneys that will engage them. And sometimes attorneys, we run into it here where an attorney will say something that's not based in reality or fact, thinking that they're dealing with a collector, and the next thing that they know is that the account gets passed off to one of our attorneys that basically say, hey, you're saying this, you and I both know that's not true, why don't we come back and try to get this thing resolved? And that typically tones things down and sets the stage for more of a constructive conversation. So main thing is just don't get your feelings hurt if you're dealing with folks on that other end, but if the owners or the CEOs are unreasonable and hostile, their attorneys are going to be hostile as well. If you have an issue that we can help you with on collections, by all means, don't hesitate to give us a shout. You can click on the link, set up a time for you to talk with either myself or one of our staff attorneys. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Wilson again, and this video was brought to you by Adams, Evans & Ross. And if you like the video, please make sure that you click on the subscribe button and also like the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below as well. If you'd like to learn more about our company, please visit our website at staffingdebt.com. And also remember, if there's no collection, there's absolutely no cost at all.